In this video, I'll show you how to use dimensions in AutoCAD 2018. Dimensions are basically annotations for the measurements that can show the magnitude or direction of a drawing. So let's get started. First, let's take a look at the properties of dimensions. We go to Annotate and click this little arrow over here, Dim Style. In the Dimension Style Manager, you'll be given some default dimension styles depending on your AutoCAD version. Now you can create your own by pressing New, or you can modify the default dimension. Let's modify it. Now you can modify the primary units for the linear dimensions or the angular dimensions. Let's talk about the units format. There are different units format: scientific, engineering, architectural, fractional, or Windows desktop. For this video, we'll be using decimal. Now precision and rounding off is different. Precision is the number of digits that will be displayed on your workspace. Rounding off is the value of the precision of your measurements. Let's set it to 2 decimals, both of them. It is the same with angular dimensions. Set it to 2 decimals. Now you don't need to change a lot in the fit. In the text, you'll always like to make sure that your text is visible in the workspace. So let's change the text height to 0.3. It will make it larger. It's too large. Let's set it to 0.2. Now you can also modify the text alignment, whether it is horizontally aligned or whether it's aligned in the direction of dimension line, or both. But this will depend on the neatness of the drawing, whether it fits. For symbols and arrows, you don't really have to modify much. In here, in the arrowheads, you can change the arrowheads, but usually you don't need this. You can also change the arrow size. You always want to make sure that the arrows are visible in the drawing. Let's set it to 0.2. Some objects that you create will have a center. And if you're going to put a dimension to that object, it will create a center mark. Now you have 3 options, whether you'd like a mark, a line, or none. For this drawing, we're going to use mark. Now in drawings, you always need to make sure that dimensions or object lines are distinguishable from each other. That is where you'll set the offset from origin. This is the distance between the dimension and the object. Let's set it to 0.1. Now that we have set our properties, let's press OK. Like I said a while ago, dimension lines and object lines must be distinguishable from each other. Now let's select the dimension layer. The first command that we will be using is the linear dimension. First, we have to specify the first point, then the second point. Now let's try for the Y direction. How about this line over here? As you can see, it only measures linearly. It doesn't really follow this angle over here. Which brings us to our next command, align dimension. Specify the first point, specify the second point. There we go. How about circles? How do we annotate circles? There are 2 ways. We can use radius dimensions or diameter dimensions. Let's try the radius one. Let's try the diameter one. As you can see, the magnitude of the diameter of this circle is the same from the magnitude of the radius of this circle. Now how do we measure angles? we use the angular dimension command. We select this part and the second line. As you can see, it's 90 degrees. How about the different angle? This one. As you can see, it's 150 degrees. Now, how about if you'd like to find out the x and y coordinate? We use Ordinate Dimensions. Let me remove this for a while. Now, depending on the direction of your mouse, you can find out the x and the y dimension. Specify feature location. It is 24 in the y direction, 14 in the x direction. So the coordinates for this point is 14.88, 24.14. Now in your drawings, you might want to specify something that couldn't really be recorded by dimensions. In that case, you'd use leaders. Just click on this arrow over here. Specify leader arrowhead location. After clicking on the location, you'll be required to type in something. You can also change the size of the text. Click on the workspace to finish the command. Now what if the drawing is awkward and you'd like it to be more neat? And just like this dimension over here, we use the oblique. To do that, we'll have to edit the dimension. Enter the type of dimension editing. We have oblique. Select this dimension, press enter. Enter oblique angle. In this case, I'd like this to lay down on 0 degrees. So let's put in 0. As you can see, it is now aligned into the 0 degrees reference plane. Now that's it for this video. For more AutoCAD 2018 tutorials, save this playlist and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.